So you're just starting out with music and you're looking for options to build a home studio. And you quickly find out that this is not easy, neither is it cheap when you're just a student making music in his dorm room. Because first of all, you need a proper room that has proper acoustic treatment installed, and then you need some correctly placed studio monitors to monitor your sound. So your attention naturally shifts towards headphones because you can get a really nice set for around $150, which is a lot cheaper compared to what you would pay for a nice set of studio monitors plus acoustic treatment. That also takes up a lot of space and gets really loud, so you can't mix and master at night when maybe you have the free time. You might wake up your roommates, your neighbors. So headphones seem like really the best option for you, and you're now looking for a nice set to buy to use to mix and master. Unfortunately, life is rarely that easy, and looking for what pair of headphones to get in order to mix on, you are going to find a lot of conflicting advice. On one hand, some people will tell you that, hey, it's totally fine to mix on headphones because most of your listeners will wear headphones anyway, and that there are many top charting engineers mixing in a hotel room using the free earbuds they got from the airline they flew in with, and they're still making a lot of top charting hits. On the other hand, you are going to see a lot of people saying that you should never mix on headphones because it is really bad and your mixes are going to suck, and you should only mix on proper studio monitors inside a proper room with acoustic treatment installed. And because you're just starting out, you're a beginner, you don't have the experience, you are basically lost. You don't know which route you should choose, you don't know which headphones you should get, you don't know if it even makes sense to get headphones to mix and master on. And if that's the case, then you are in the right spot, because my name is Andrew and I am on a mission to search this entire wonderful universe for answers to the most important questions like why do dogs pee on car tires, and explain these answers to you like you are 5. At least that's my usual thing, but this time I'm gonna steer away a little bit from that, and because I've been in your shoes some years ago, I'll make this into a multi-part video where I'll try to explain to you why you should mix on headphones, why you shouldn't mix on headphones, and if you're doing it, how to do it properly. I'll also try to throw in some tips on how to choose some headphones for mixing, and hopefully by the end of this, you will be able to properly decide which way is better for you, and you'll be able to start actually mixing, mastering, and putting out your tracks, which is, at the end of the day, the most important thing. So let's get it started with the first part, where we talk why you shouldn't actually mix on headphones and why using studio monitors makes a lot of sense, and why, at the end of the day, all the pros use actual monitors and actual acoustically treated rooms. I said a lot of actual. Mixing is the process of taking a multi-track session and using various tools to find a proper balance between all of the sound sources playing. You want all of the instruments to work together and contribute to the sound of the final track. And to achieve this, you have a lot of tools at your disposal. The key here is being able to hear the changes you are making. You want to be able to monitor all of the sounds and hear as much information as possible in order to make informed decisions. In my opinion, mixing on headphones can be like trying to fix a car engine while being blindfolded. Sure, if you're really good at this, if you really know the engine and the car, you can touch around and feel the parts and take the engine apart and put it back together without actually seeing the job you're doing. But you're doing a lot of guessing. You can't be 100% sure that you're doing the best job you can. And for someone who doesn't wear the blindfold, it will be apparent that you didn't do the best job ever. This is because headphones don't allow you to properly hear the stereo field and the frequency response of the content you are mixing. When you're wearing headphones, you're taking a two-dimensional stereo field that a proper set of studio monitors would produce and condensing it into just one dimension. And no matter how well you know your headphones, this will affect your ability to properly mix and properly judge sound, because you're not getting the full picture. When you're using studio monitors inside a proper room that has acoustic treatment, everything is very natural. Sounds can be coming from the right or from the left or everywhere in between. They can be up front in your face or further back in the mix. But again, everything feels really natural. When you're wearing headphones, things become a little bit more unnatural, and it becomes really hard to judge positioning, panning, frequency response, because you're taking this two-dimensional stereo field, which we are used to, and you're condensing it into just one dimension. You're condensing it basically to a line that goes from one ear to the other ear through your head. In nature, when a sound is coming from our right, it will reach both of our ears, just at different timings. And our brain uses this delay between when it reaches our right ear and when it reaches our left ear to calculate positioning. When you're wearing headphones, you don't get this cross-feeding effect. Everything that's on the right channel will only be heard by the right ear, and everything that's on the left channel will only be heard by the left ear. So you don't get any of these cross-feeding without a special setup that we will talk about in the second video, where I try to show you how to properly mix on headphones. Because of the proximity between the headphone drivers and your ears, you also get a lot of other problems that you need to take into account. If I'm trying to mix on headphones, I feel like I have a lot of trouble when it comes to very low frequencies, because in nature, very low frequencies have very large wavelengths, and this leads to them being more felt than heard. And this is really easy to understand if you think about how at a concert or in a club, you feel the kick drums in your chest. You feel them, you don't necessarily hear them. And when you're wearing headphones, even if they're very bassy, even if they pump out a lot of bass, you won't be getting this effect. This leads to me having a lot of trouble judging a proper balance between the kick drums and the bass whenever I'm trying to mix with headphones. In these sorts of situations, because you're not being able to hear these low frequencies, it's like they're not there. So your brain tries to overcompensate, and it makes you add a lot more lower bass than needed. Even if you know that this effect will happen because you're mixing on headphones, it's really hard to resist and not to fall prey to your brain just not being able to feel this low bass. In the second part of the video, where we will be talking about how to properly mix on headphones, we will talk about devices that try to compensate for this, that try to help you feel the low bass frequencies. And I've tried them before. While they do work and they do help a lot, I still feel like they don't get you all the way there, as a proper set of studio monitors inside a proper room, again, would do it. Then there's the feeling of space, which will affect your creative judgment. Even a very well-treated control room will have a little bit of reverberation that makes everything sound natural. When you wear headphones, you take this effect away, so basically everything will sound very dry, and you will tend to overcompensate with reverb effects just to get back that feeling of liveness. So you can see that I think that mixing on headphones does have some disadvantages that will keep you from achieving the best mix you can. And if you're a beginner, it will keep you from learning the mixing techniques the proper way. But in the second part of this video, we will talk about how to properly mix on headphones, because there are a lot of great reasons to mix on headphones. And I do think that you should mix on headphones as long as you decide which hat you want to be wearing. If you plan on wearing the artist hat, then your priority is releasing as many tracks as possible. You need to be writing and releasing a lot of tracks. And with time, you will get a lot better. Now you're mixing and mastering on your own, in your bedroom, on your headphones, and that's totally fine. Again, your goal should be to write and release as much music as possible. And with time, you will hopefully grow a fan base and get to the level where you can afford to send your tracks to a proper mixing engineers who will mix them in a proper studio, and also send them to a proper mastering engineer afterwards. You're just currently using headphones because that's what you can afford. Again, your priority is to release a lot of music. Who cares that maybe the mixes are not astonishing? Who cares that maybe there's a little bit of an imbalance between the kick drum and the bass? Good music will sound good nonetheless. Mixing is just one layer. It's just the icing on the cake. If you're able to write good music, it will still get you the fans you deserve, and it will help you get to the level where you won't be forced to mix on your headphones anyway. And with the tips and tricks I'll try to teach you in the second part of the video, this won't be a problem for you. So again, it's totally fine to mix on headphones. But if your plan is to wear the engineer hat, then I think that your focus should be on finding ways to create a proper room for yourself. This can be the subject of many videos, but in a nutshell, acoustic treatment is a lot more important than having very good expensive speakers. You can take some very cheap 2.0 PC speakers and put them in a really well treated room, and they will sound better than some really expensive studio monitors in a very bad room. Acoustic treatment can be done for very little money if you're handy with tools. You can watch some YouTube tutorials on how to build panels using rock wool, and your room will sound a lot better with just a few of these, and over time you can add more and more, and as you learn about mixing, about acoustic treatment, you will get better and better. But the most important thing is that you will be learning how to mix from the ground up, seeing the full picture, hearing everything on some speakers. Of course, you can cross-reference on headphones, and I do encourage you to also take note of what we'll be talking about in the second part of the videos. Get a nice pair of studio headphones, use them when you're mixing, but always try to cross-reference with the speakers, because you need to understand how a proper speaker system sounds in order to be able to compensate for the shortcomings of using headphones. And if you will be doing this for some years, you will probably be naturally upgrading your speakers to some studio monitors, maybe some entry-level ones for the start, and then get better and better at this and get some really good studio monitors at some point, and you will reach the level as an engineer where then yes, you will be able to maybe go into a hotel room and mix a track on headphones, because you know how things should sound in a proper studio. So you will be better at compensating for the shortcomings of headphones. You will be having a much better understanding of the limitations, and this will help you make better choices. So I don't want you to feel discouraged. I know how it is to be a broke student mixing in his dorm room. There is an amazing journey in front of you, and I don't want you to feel like you can't take it because you can't build a proper home studio. So this is why in the second part of this video, I'll try to teach you all the tips and tricks I know of that minimize the shortcomings of mixing on headphones and get you closer to actually mixing in a real studio. Hopefully your mixes will sound really good this way, and you'll be able to do what you love most, which is make music. And in the third part of this video, we will talk about how to choose a proper cheap set of studio headphones to use for mixing. Until the next one, thank you very much for watching. My name was Andrew. I hope you enjoyed this video and you're looking forward to part number 2 and part number 3, and maybe even more. Who knows, maybe we'll make even more. Until then, have an awesome day, week, and I'll see you in the next one.